Hello, this is Julia. Welcome to my channel, Yoga with Julia Wiley. Over on the sofa is Lucy the Cavapuchon. Please do subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and you'll get updated whenever I come out with my new videos, which come out every week. Now today we're going to be doing yoga for a strong mind and body. You may know that yoga means to yoke or to join together the body, the mind and the spirit. So unlike other exercise, yoga builds mind power as well as physical strength. So it's great for your emotional strength too. Yoga and mindfulness go hand in hand as we quieten the mind and focus on the body and our breath. The more that you practice, the more you'll find you can access this mindful state in other activities too. So through the class, try to focus on the breath and the sensations of stretch in the body, as well as any emotions. Notice if you feel tired or if it feels a little difficult. Notice if you feel impatient, and just allow those feelings to go through you without affecting you. Just notice them without any judgment. So start off sitting with a straight spine, lengthening up through the crown of the head. Close your eyes gently and take a few deep breaths in and out through the nose. Try to keep the breath through the nostrils through the whole class if you can. So just bring the awareness onto the breath, really filling the lungs right down to the bottom on each inhale and squeezing out all the breath on the exhale. And now start to bring your awareness to that tiny little pause at the end of the inhale and at the end of the exhale. A delicious little space of quietude between the breaths. Let your chin drop down, slowly open your eyes, and let's do some nice big head circles. Just taking the head around gently a couple of times in one direction, keeping the breath nice and deep, and then roll your head the other way. Bringing the head up now, take your left hand to the top of the head and gently let the weight of your arm carry the head over to the left. So don't pull or tug, just let your hand rest on the top of your head. And then let's do the other side. And release. On an inhale now, roll the shoulders up and back, look up, exhale, bring the shoulders down and forwards as your chin drops to the chest. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, up and back, exhale, down and forwards. 1 more time. Big inhale and exhale. And let's come over onto hands and knees, having your hands underneath the shoulders, press into the mat so that the chest is lifted, back is nice and long, and hold your tummy in firmly. Now keeping the tummy in, big breath in as you look up, wolf pose, press into the mat with your fingers, and exhale, come into a cat curl. So really press that belly button up towards the ceiling, tailbone tucks under. Again, flowing into wolf, also called cow, as you look up and exhale into that cat curl. Let's do 1 more. Inhaling into wolf, looking up, lift through the chin, eyes towards the ceiling, and exhale. Come back into the cat curl and bring your spine to neutral. Now take out your left leg behind you and your right arm out in front. So the legs and the arms are straight, and then see how high you can lift them up and hold it. The gaze is out over the front fingertips, so working on balance, that B word. Breathe into it. Again, notice how you feel here. Notice if you're feeling that this is easy or if it's hard. Just observe the thoughts. And let's switch to the other side. So your right leg goes out this time and left arm. Again, reach them along and lift them up. Squeezing the muscles tight, lengthening out, looking out over the front fingertips. Breathe and notice how you feel today. As if you were just an observer. And then bring the hands down, the legs, the knees slightly apart, your toes touching, and take your hips back, walking your hands out. Let your head rest down for this variation of child's pose. And take a couple of deep breaths here. This time we're going to go in through the nose and out through the mouth. So inhale, exhale, really relax down. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, exhale, and 1 more big breath. Gather in any tensions and let them go. And then let the breathing come back through the nostrils. And then just lifting the head, walk yourself around to one side into a gentle twist, letting the hips go slightly to the other side, just so you feel a lovely stretch. And walk yourself around the other way. So the hips go the opposite way to where you've walked your hands. Breathe into it. And walk back around. Hands firmly into the mat. Shift your weight forwards so that it's on your whole hands, not just on the back of the wrists. Pressing the fingers strongly into the mat so you feel like you're gripping them, really strengthening. Really work on strengthening the fingers here. And then bring your legs hip width apart, tucking the toes under. Push your hips up towards the ceiling for downward facing dog. And you may like to pedal your feet here, pressing one heel and then the other down towards the mat. Wakening up the muscles, enjoying this feeling. And then press both heels towards the mat. They may get to the mat, they may not, that's fine. Let's feel that lovely stretch and push the mat away. Again, using the strength of all your fingers. The head is relaxed. Now shift your weight onto your right leg. Take the left leg up towards the ceiling for 3-legged dog. Reach it long. Both legs as straight as possible. And then bend that top knee. Look forwards now. See if you can set that leg up. Put the foot up between your hands. If not, shift the leg forward a little bit and then bring the back knee down so you're into a lunge. Make sure your knee is not over your toes. If it is, take your stance a little wider. Lunge forward. Now, even though I'm lunging here, tuck the tailbone under a little bit so that you get a lovely stretch up the front of the thigh. Lengthen up and then bring your arms up overhead. Looking between your fingertips, lean back a little. And hold it here for a few breaths. Again, bring the awareness onto the body. How do you feel? Just notice it without any judgment. Bring the hands down to prayer, and we're going to do a prayer twist. So hook the elbow on the outside of your left knee and either stay here looking up towards the ceiling, or else see if you can tuck your back toes under and lift the back leg up. Breathe into it, hold it. And then if you've got your back knee up, lower it, bring your hands either side of the front foot and step yourself back, lowering down all the way onto your tummy and press yourself up into a cobra or a baby cobra, whatever works for your body. Now you'll find that your body, your back tends to bend in one sort of favourite area. For me it's at the very lower back here. Some people it might be higher up. So work on those areas of the back that don't bend as easily. For me it's the upper back. So I'm really working on that, working on all of the areas. Just pressing gently into the pose. Breathing. Noticing any sensations, any emotions that come up. And then lower yourself just slightly, tuck the toes under. We're going to go into downward facing dog. So either come to your knees and press up, or you can come straight up into that downward facing dog. Walk your feet a little closer towards the hands so you can press into it. You might even take the hands back slightly. And take a couple of breaths here. So pushing the mat away with the fingers, lengthening out the back. And now shift your weight onto your left leg and take the right leg up towards the ceiling, lengthening it, stretching long. Long arms, long legs. Bend that top knee, lifting up a little bit. Shift your weight up over a tiny bit to the left. And then look forwards and step that foot up between your hands if you can get it there, or else shift the foot forward a little bit. Bring the back knee down, and we're coming into that lunge on the other side. Bring your hands onto the front knee first. Now tucking the tailbone under, so this way, not sticking your bottom out behind you. So you lean into it. You won't go quite as far, but you'll feel a good stretch down your left front of the thigh there. Nice deep breaths here. Working on that hip flexibility, and then bring your arms up, reach them long, look up and lean back a little bit into this kneeling version of the Crescent Pose. Where is your mind? Is your mind wandering? Or is it focused on this class, on your body, on your breath? And then hands come down to prayer. Hook your left elbow on the outside of the right knee this time for a prayer twist. Stay here, or else see if you can tuck your back toes under and lift the back leg up. Hold it. And then lower the back knee down if it was up, bringing the foot flat. And we're going to step back into, this time into a plank pose. So come on your back toes and step back. Make sure the hips are all in one straight line with the body holding it here. So we're building our core strength and we're building our mind strength. A strong mind to support our strong body. Breathe into it. Abs held nice and tightly. Legs are strong. Bring your attention onto the breath. And then take it back again into downward facing dog. Walking your feet a little bit closer towards the hands. Maybe the hands back a couple of inches. And press into it. Take a couple of breaths here. Really letting go. And bend your knees, walk your feet up to your hands and hold on to your elbows. Let yourself hang down. Head is totally relaxed. You can move it back and forward a couple of times. Make sure it really is relaxed. Your knees can be straight or just slightly bent if that feels better for you. Letting the back lengthen and stretch out. Release your hands and roll yourself very slowly all the way up to standing, one vertebra at a time. As you come up, tuck the tailbone under, lengthen up through the whole body, roll your shoulders up, back and down, hands into Namaste. Take a couple of breaths here, close your eyes if you can, and try shifting your weight from your right leg to your left leg a couple of times, and see how that feels. And then from the front of the feet to the back. Again, go back and forth a couple of times. And then find that space in the middle between the left and the right, between the front and the back. And breathe. To do a balance pose now. Bring your weight onto your right leg and bring the left leg onto the foot or on the leg, or if you can, bring it up and place it onto your thigh, pressing it in. Bring the hands into Namaste, working on balance. Again, this is a great one for the mind because we can get very impatient with ourselves, and the more we try and force ourselves into the pose, the more difficult it can be. So it's finding that gentle acceptance of where we are. Breathe into it. If you wobble out of the pose, just come back in very gently. And release, and we'll take it over to the other side. So shift your weight onto your left leg. Notice how the whole balance just naturally shifts over when you do this. And then bring the right foot onto the other foot, or the leg, or the thigh. Hands into Namaste. If your knee is up, try and open it out to the side. Keep the body straight and long. Look very gently at something that's not moving. And just be kind to yourself. And slowly release. Well done. Come up close to the front of the mat now. Hands into Namaste. And then reach your arms up overhead, lengthening. Lean it back a little if that feels right for you. And then stretch yourself forwards and let yourself round down. Bend your knees until you can get your hands flat. Walk yourself back into plank pose. Hold it here. Nice long arms, long body. Pushing out through the crown of the head. And we're going to come down onto the mat, so you can lower your knees if you want, or else come down very slowly, bending the elbows close to your body. Come all the way down to your mat. Bring your legs down and press yourself up into Cobra. Again, working on the whole spine. Now take your gaze behind you, one way towards the feet. And around to the other way. Back to the center, and then ease yourself back into Child's Pose, letting your head rest down. Walk your fingertips out in front of you and take a breath here. Come on, Lucy. And then from here, lift your head, walk your hands forward a little bit. And then dip the chest down towards the mat. Maybe bring your forehead on the mat, maybe your chin, whatever works for your body. And breathe into it. And then walk your hands underneath the shoulders again for tabletop pose. We're going to do threading the needle. Take your left hand and thread it through between the right hand and the knee. Come down as far as you can, if possible, your shoulder and your cheek on the mat. Slide this left hand back a bit so you can push into the mat for a lovely twist as you look up towards the ceiling. Now if you want to take this into a little bit of a balance, you can also take up your right leg towards the ceiling, stretching it long. I'm going to go over to the other side. So come back to the tabletop pose and then take your right hand this time. Thread it through, come down as far as you can onto your cheek and your shoulder if possible. Slide your left hand a little closer in front of your face so you can press into the twist and look up. And then again you have the option if you want to take up your left leg towards the ceiling, working on balance of mind, balance of body, and slowly coming back again onto hands and knees. Now tuck your toes under and again press up into downward facing dog, pressing into the pose. Breathe here, and then take your weight onto your right leg, left leg up towards the ceiling for three-legged dog again. Stretching both legs long, reaching out, and then step that foot up between your hands if you can. This time bring the back heel down and let's windmill the arms and come up to Warrior Two pose. Now look down, make sure that your knee isn't over your toes. If it is, come into a little bit of a wider stance. Arms stretch out long, lengthen up through the body and pull back slightly so you're not leaning forward over that front leg. Proud warrior, strong warrior pose. Let's hold it. And then reach up, straightening your legs. Inhale, exhale, come back down into that warrior two. Let's do it 2 more times. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. 1 more time. Inhale. And exhale. And then bring your hands either side of that front foot. Come on your back toes into a lunge with the back knee lifted. Stretch forwards with your chest. Step yourself back into plank. And then bring your knees down if you want, or else lower yourself slowly all the way down to the mat. Feet come flat. Press up into Cobra, keeping the shoulders back and down. Look up and then tuck your toes under. Press back into downward facing dog again and walk the feet a little bit closer towards the hands so you can really press into the pose. And breathe. And then shifting your weight onto your left leg, take the right leg up to the ceiling, stretching nice and long. Push your fingertips into the mat. Inhale here. Exhale, step the foot up between your hands. Back foot comes down onto the mat and bring yourself up into Warrior 2 on the other side. So sink into the front leg. Back leg is nice and strong. Look out over your front fingertips. And breathe. And then we'll take it up and down a few times. So reaching up, legs straighten, inhale, exhale, sink into it. 2 more times. Inhale, reach, exhale, sink, and 1 more time. Inhale, and exhale. Hold it here a moment. And then come back onto that lunge. Bring yourself onto your back toes, step back into plank, hold it a moment here, building on that strength and control. Then bring your knees down if you want, and elbows close to your body as you lower yourself. Work on your strength. Come all the way down, feet come flat, and press up into Cobra Pose. Really working on every part of the spine. And then tuck your toes under, press back again into downward facing dog. Again, you can walk your feet or your hands a little closer towards each other. Press into the pose. Fingers spread wide. Push each finger and thumb into the mat. Push back like you're trying to shut a door behind you with your bottom. Push back. Heels press towards the mat. So every single inch of the body is working here. Lengthening out, stretching, strengthening. And again, notice where your mind is. Bring your attention onto the sensations in the body. And then lower down onto your knees. See if you can cross your feet behind you and come back to sitting. We're going to go straight into the boat. Otherwise, come into it any way you like. Bring your arms out in front. Lift up your legs so you've got a little bit of a balance here. Stay here if you like. Or else see if you can straighten the legs out, lifting them as high as you can. Find the place that works for you. And again, notice how you feel. Notice any thoughts. Does it feel easy, difficult, boring, frustrating? Just notice any sensations. Breathe through them. So we're learning to be comfortable in our mind, even if we're not very comfortable in our body. And gently lower the legs down. Bring yourself a little forward so you've got plenty of space behind you, and bring the arms out in front. Slowly lower yourself down onto the mat using your abdominal muscles. Again, notice what goes through your mind. Like, is it hard? Is it difficult? Can I do this? Yes, you can. Slowly come all the way down to the mat. Hug your knees in and give yourself a little rock. Gently side to side. It should feel really nice. And then send your feet up towards the ceiling. This is the inverted lake pose. So your feet are flexed. Really push up like you're trying to make footprints up on the ceiling. Stretching the legs nice and long. Breathe. And then hug your left knee into the chest and let your right leg go down to the floor. Squeeze it in gently. And then take your right hand on the outside of that knee, press it gently over towards the right and look out towards the left hand for a spinal twist. Breathe into it. Notice how the body tightens up on the inhale, and as you exhale, you can press that little bit further into the pose. And come back onto your back. Hug that knee in again, and then walk your hands up for the leg. Grab the back of the thigh, the knee, the shin or the ankle. Stretch the leg long. Pull it towards you gently, and the other leg is stretching out along the floor. Then if you want to, you can lift up your head and your chest towards the leg. Breathe. And hug that knee in again. Bring the other knee up and gently rock side to side. And then hug your right knee into the chest and stretch the left leg out along the floor. Nice big hug here. And then take your left hand on the outside of that right knee, press the knee over to the left and look over towards your right hand this time. Deep breathing, again noticing how the rib cage fills with air and tightens the pose. And then as you exhale, you can just press that little bit further into the pose, always respecting the body and not going to where it's painful, just so where it's a lovely stretch and feels really good. And then come back onto your back, hug that knee in again, and then walk your hands up the back of the leg, grabbing wherever you can get to, straightening that top leg out as much as possible. If it doesn't go completely straight, don't worry about it, but stretch it out, and the other leg is straight out along the floor. And then if you want to, on the next exhale, bring your head and chest up towards the leg. The gaze is up towards the feet, bringing the leg towards your body, still strengthening it, lengthening it as much as you can. And come back down onto your back, hug both knees into the chest again, and let yourself rock side to side. Now bring your hands underneath the small of your back and see how low you can bring your legs out. If you can, just a bit above the floor, so you're pressing down into your hands with your lower back. If you can't come down this low without your back arching, then bring your legs at a slightly higher angle. So see what works for you. Hold it again. Notice what's going on in your mind. Just observe it. Observe any thoughts. And then bring the knees back up. Release your hands from under the hips. Hug your knees in. And let's make little circles with the knees. Round and round one way. Just easing out the back. And around and round the other way. Now for a very gentle, relaxing twist, let the feet come to the floor, just hip width apart, and let the knees flop over to one side. And relax here. Consciously relax your shoulders and your chest and your face. You can close your eyes gently. And then bring the knees up and let them just flop over to the other side. And again, take a few deep breaths here. In and out through the nose. Relaxing all the upper body, any tension you may have in your shoulders. And then bring the knees back up. Stretch your legs out long and your arms above your head. Really lengthen. Now take one side of the body longer than the other. And then the other side. Stretch both sides long. Inhale here, and then exhale. Bring your hands down by your sides. And adjust your body to be very comfortable. And we're just going into Shavasana just for about a minute or so. So let yourself still have your attention just on this class, on your body, on your breathing just for these few moments more. Really let go. In your mind, start from your head and work your way all the way down to your toes, relaxing each part of the body in turn. You don't need to move the body, just take your mind in a little mind scan. Until the whole body is totally relaxed. And then let your mind relax. Imagine an internal smile. So you don't have to physically smile on the outside, but have an internal smile and feel it lighten up the inside of the head. Relax the eyeballs and any tension around the eyes and the forehead, the cheeks and the jaw. Now stay here if you like for a longer Shavasana, or else very gently bend your knees. Open your eyes slowly and let yourself roll to one side and push yourself all the way back up very slowly to sitting. So I hope you've enjoyed this class. Thank you so much for joining me. Please do subscribe if you haven't done so. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and I'd appreciate any comments below. So I'll see you again next time. Namaste.